see them pictures, well, when you see those pictures, do you ever think, I'd like to get back in the ring one more time?
Get back where?
Pardon?
Octagon? You mean Octagon?
Yes, the Octagon.
No, honestly, no, brother. Honestly, I'm about retirement. When I retired, I never think to coming back because it was a very clear decision. Very, very clear decision. Of course, sometimes I want to compete with high-level guys, but in my gym, I have best fighters in the world. When I miss some competition, I go to the gym. I can find not only best guys in the division, I can find the best pound-for-pound guys in the world. And of course, I go and compete. This is in my blood. I love this. I love wrestling. I love competition. But going back to the cage, I always was youngest, and I do everything what they told me because we have rules. In our rules, if you're young, you're always wrong. Who's older, you're always right. There is rules, and you have to follow them. And somehow, like when I finish my career, I become oldest in my team. I was oldest. It's like, okay, I have to take leadership. Who's gonna take over? Somebody have to lead the team. You cannot just leave them alone. Today I'm become success. I was champion. I was on top. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. It doesn't work like this. And I'm like, okay, I look around, like, who's here? Everybody is younger than me. And my father, rahimahullah, he passed away. I'm like, okay, I have to take this leadership and I have to lead this team and I have to continue my father's legacy. I understand I'm ready for this. Some people, they are not. When we come to the gym, when we beginning in our training and all of them know about this, there is no freedom speech. There is no freedom speech. Everybody do what I say if I'm coach. If I say I am in or out, there is no 50-50. And I try to push them very well. And if you look at the result, we have in almost every organization, we have champions and we have some best fighters right now, and we are best team. I'm very happy. It's mean I'm doing good.
Mais igual a 3. Tem um cinturão aí um pouco acima da sua categoria que tá numa situação esquisita, né? Tá de olho nele?
Eu falei do meu interesse, né, em tá lutando na categoria dos pesos pesados. Eu não sei, eu falei da Casa Branca com o John Jones. Já tinha falado também de uma luta, né, até lutar no pesado, terceiro cinturão. Mas eu não sei, não tá no meu controle, né? Eu tenho, né, as minhas vontades, mas também estou na expectativa, assim como todo.
Fight for him, good fight for me. Everyone knows that UFC knows that, but UFC don't want to give this guy from me. So, and the guy say, "Oh, I come to your jiu-jitsu, wrestling, grappling. I don't know what this grappling, jiu-jitsu is not our job. Our job is UFC fighter, So he said he can't fight with the Duplessis. He accept the fight, but now he say like, oh, it comes out not good."
Anderson Silva just dropped the most brutal truth bomb about Khamzat Chimaev that nobody saw coming. The Spider, who dominated the octagon for years, was asked point-blank about a hypothetical showdown between Chimaev and Alex Pereira, and his answer is going to shock you. Silva openly acknowledged what we all know. Chimaev is an absolute beast with raw power that can end fights in seconds, and that burning hunger in his eyes that screams champion. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. When forced to pick a winner, Silva didn't hesitate for even a second. He went straight for Alex Pereira, and the reasoning behind his choice reveals something massive about what separates good fighters from legendary ones.
He's saying like he's more famous than me, that's why I'm using his name, bro. This guy, if I just say hi in my story in Instagram, I make more views than his fight, so I don't think so. This guy is more famous than me. So he wants that fight. He knows about it, and UFC know about it. So I can't say the things what UFC says to me, but it's gonna be not respect for Alex. Because everyone knows this guy is not my level, So yeah, he's a good striker, one of the best strikers. I give the respect for him. He has knockout power and everything. But like ask whoever, 99% in the world who is watching the UFC, so they're gonna tell you who is gonna win.
Silva broke it down like only a legend can, explaining that while Chimaev brings chaos and overwhelming pressure, Pereira possesses something far more dangerous, that ice-cold composure that turns other fighters' strengths into their own downfall. The Spider described watching Pereira in action as witnessing pure calculated violence, a man who can read the storm of an opponent's attack and methodically dismantle it piece by piece. Think about what Silva's seen in his career. He's faced every type of fighter imaginable, from explosive wrestlers to knockout artists to pressure machines. And yet he's saying that Pereira's mental game is so sharp, so unbreakable, that he'd not just survive Chimev's relentless assault, but actually use it against him. That's not just confidence, that's a master recognizing another master's work.
Yeah.
Спросить меня, мне, конечно, хочется за второй пояс подраться. Для меня, никому не секрет, тот парень, который сейчас 93, если стойки с ним не заигрываться, для меня очень.
But get this, Silva didn't stop there. He went full savage mode, describing Chimev as the beast and an absolutely amazing fighter, giving him every bit of credit for his dominance. This isn't some old-school fighter dismissing the new generation. Silva knows exactly how dangerous Chimev is, which makes his next statement even more devastating. He looked straight into the camera and said, "I put my chance in Alex against him if they ever fought." No hesitation, no maybes. Just cold, hard certainty from someone who's been in there with the best of the best. The Spider's basically saying that championship mindset and tactical genius beat raw athleticism and pressure every single time when the stakes are highest.
Все говорят, слишком мощный парень, но где-то мощи я нигде не уступал никому, поэтому я думаю, он тоже 84 выступал и перешел в 93. Хотелось бы 93 подраться, а так там Насруддина дадут, или Беридера дадут, или Эрнандеса. Мне особой такой разницы нет, что самое главное заплатили хорошо.
Can present the biggest challenge to him.
Pereira's an interesting match because you still have this image of Israel Adesanya, who is not a takedown expert, taking down and holding down Pereira. So, that's a hard image to shake out of your head when you think, Pereira would have to beat Chimaev. But now Pereira's talking about moving up also. It's like, dude, these guys just find a weight class and then fight a bunch of people. Honestly, that's one reason I was so impressed by Merab this year. It's like, who defends our title that much? It was so impressive, and I know he lost the last one, but his run.
Now here's where the story takes another insane turn. While everyone's debating these dream matchups, Tom Aspinall just revealed his master plan that has fans absolutely losing their minds. The heavyweight destroyer is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, making it crystal clear that he's not rushing back into anything despite all the pressure from fans and the UFC brass. His number one priority isn't about getting revenge on Cyril Gane or chasing any quick paydays. It's about something way more calculated and, honestly, way more terrifying for his future opponents. Aspinall's taking this recovery time to completely rebuild himself from the ground up, and what he's planning for his return is going to change everything.
But by the time this is going out, they probably have had surgery on one side already. The next surgery's coming mid-January, so we're working towards getting back.
Listen to this part because it gets even better. Aspinall opened up about how this entire recovery process has taught him lessons that most fighters never learn until it's too late. He's talking about patience in a sport where everyone wants instant gratification, about finding balance when your entire career revolves around controlled violence. But here's the kicker that will have every heavyweight sweating. He's not just rebuilding physically, he's reconstructing his entire mental approach to fighting. The man is literally using this setback as an opportunity to level up every aspect of his game. And when someone with his natural talent starts talking about becoming significantly smarter and fully prepared for every scenario, that should terrify everyone in the division.
You're your normal self, but there's definitely an anger there towards everything that's happened.
Yeah, I'm ready to get back, but my health's got to be right first. I ain't going to do nothing compromised. I'm not going to let my ego take over. Everything's got to be right. So when the time is right, however that looks, whenever that is, that's the plan.
Hold up, because what Aspinall said next is absolutely wild. He promised that when he finally steps back into that octagon, he's going to be undeniably stronger, smarter, and ready for everything Gane or anyone else can throw at him. Think about what that means. We're talking about a fighter who was already demolishing heavyweights before his injury, now telling us he's using months of recovery to become an even more complete destroyer. The anticipation for that eventual rematch is building to insane levels, because we might be witnessing the birth of the most dangerous version of Tom Aspinall we've ever seen.
with Nasruddin, how real of a chance do you give him in that fight against Chimaev? Because he probably will be an underdog, I would have assumed.
Yeah, I definitely think he has a chance. His striking is good. He's fast. He's pretty quick. But there's not a lot of pop on the punches, to be honest. If Chimaev has good defense, I think he'll be okay there. But I don't know. I think Chimaev will be able to get him down. I think he'll get him down at some point. Imavov's ground isn't really that great. Like he doesn't really do a whole lot, which does make it hard to be offensive when you're just being 100% defensive and you just don't care about anything but not getting finished. It's really hard to get a finish, but I think Chimaev, if he gets him down, can make him work, and I think it'd be a good fight, but I think Chimaev would win.
Getting the title shot. I think that's the only thing that really makes sense now is Imavov getting that shot at the belt. But I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I think Khamzat wins that fight for sure. As for myself, like I said, I don't really know. The whole division's been mixed up. You know, when you have Imavov and Kyle fighting, these two guys emerge as potential contenders. The winner there is the contender. Not a great fight, in my opinion. You know, those two guys stood there, and there was moments of brilliance, make no mistake, and I rated Kyle Bahar. I picked him to win that fight. But it's on the night he just didn't show up. You know, he just didn't show up. Well done to Imavov for winning that fight. I mean, he did what he had to do, but yeah, I mean, right now, you don't have anybody who's consistently winning. And that's the problem. How do you pick a contender? You have guys that fight two great fights, one terrible. The consistency isn't there, but there's so many good fighters. It's just a consistency. So glad it's not my job to pick the fight.
Saying he doesn't want to fight Imavov. Said one is Chechnya, Dagestan. Obviously, there's history behind that, and they don't want anything serious to happen with that. I know he's calling out Pereira. I mean, I'm excited for either one of those fights, whichever one they happens. What do I think will happen? I mean, if they make the Pereira fight, which I don't think Pereira would do that because he's already talking about going up to 205, but that will leave an opening. I mean, he's going up to heavyweight, so that would leave an opening at 205 where it could be Yuri against Chimaev, which I think would be a fun one for sure. I mean, I think Chimaev's wrestling is good enough to go up to heavyweight if he wanted to. You've seen how he picked up John Jones recently in their video. What do I think will happen? I don't know. I don't know if Imavov's come out and said anything yet about it, but like we've seen the history with Khabib's team and Chimaev, and then them shaking up. Like, it goes deeper than that. It's understandable.
But wait, it gets worse for the middleweight division. Joe Pyfer just delivered the most honest breakdown of the entire division that's got everyone talking. He looked at Nasruddin Imavov's absolutely dominant victory over KO Boralho and didn't hold back one bit. Pyfer flat-out stated that Imavov earned his spot at the very top of the division, and the way he explained why is brutal. This wasn't just a win against Boralho. This was a statement performance that left zero room for argument. Imavov didn't get lucky. He didn't squeak by on points. He completely dominated a legitimate contender so convincingly that even the doubters had to shut up and take notice. Now get this part because Pyfer's analysis gets really interesting. He praised how Imavov masterfully controlled every single exchange, dictating the pace like a veteran champion. But then Pyfer dropped a reality check that's got the entire division buzzing. He admitted straight up that while Imavov absolutely deserves a title shot after that performance, he genuinely doesn't think Imavov gets through Khamzat Chimaev. Just imagine that for a second. Pyfer's basically saying the division has this incredible talent in Imavov who's earned everything through his skills. But there's still this one monster standing in the way of everyone's title dreams. It's like having the perfect key to a lock, but knowing there's a guard dog that nobody can get past. Here's where the middleweight chaos gets absolutely insane. Dricus du Plessis, the actual champion himself, stepped into this conversation and completely agreed that Imavov deserves the next big opportunity. But du Plessis revealed something that shows just how unpredictable this division has become. He admitted he fully expected Boralho to win that fight, which means even the champion was caught off guard by just how sharp and composed Imavov looked. When the guy holding the belt is surprised by a contender's performance, that tells you everything about how dangerous the middleweight landscape has become. Nobody can predict what's coming next. And here's the most terrifying part of du Plessis's breakdown. When asked about a potential Imavov versus Chimaev clash, the champion called it an absolute thriller, but still believes Chimev's relentless pace and suffocating pressure would be the difference maker. Think about what the champion is really saying here. He's acknowledging that Imavov is talented enough to challenge anyone in the division, but Chimev operates on a completely different level of intensity that few fighters can match for 5 full rounds. It's like Duplessis is warning everyone that while the division is stacked with incredible talent, there's still this one guy who brings a level of ferocity that breaks even the best fighters down. So here's what we're looking at right now. Anderson Silva believes Alex Pereira's championship mindset beats Chimev's raw power. Tom Aspinall is rebuilding himself into an even more dangerous version. And the middleweight division is basically a war zone where even the champion can't predict what happens next. This isn't just about individual fights anymore. We're watching the entire landscape of multiple divisions shift in real time. The question isn't who's good, it's who can handle the pressure when everything's on the line. Drop your predictions in the comments because I want to know who you think survives when these dream fights finally happen. If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening in the UFC right now, smash that like button, subscribe for more insider analysis, and hit those notifications because the fight game is about to get even crazier. I'll see you in the next one. But hold on, because while we're talking about all these potential matchups and dream scenarios, something absolutely massive just happened behind the scenes that changes everything. Dana White just confirmed what insiders have been whispering about for weeks, and it's going to blow your mind. The UFC president revealed in a closed-door meeting with top executives that they're planning the most stacked card in promotional history, and the names being thrown around are making even seasoned veterans nervous. We're talking about a night where multiple divisions could see their entire hierarchies reshuffled, and the ripple effects are already causing chaos in training camps across the globe. Here's where it gets absolutely wild. Sources close to the situation are saying that this megacard isn't just about putting together big names for the sake of it. White and his team have been studying fight styles, analyzing matchups, and deliberately creating scenarios where the most explosive confrontations are inevitable. Think about the level of calculation that goes into this. They're not just booking fights, they're orchestrating potential career-defining moments that could create new superstars or destroy established legends in a single night. The pressure on fighters to accept these high-risk, high-reward matchups is intense, and some big names are already starting to sweat about what they might be walking into. But get this, because the backstage politics are getting absolutely brutal. Multiple sources are reporting that certain fighters are trying to negotiate their way out of potential matchups after seeing what happened to some recent big names who took risky fights. The fear is real, and it's spreading through the roster like wildfire. When fighters who have been calling for title shots suddenly start making excuses about timing and preparation, you know something serious is happening. The UFC brass is basically forcing everyone to put their money where their mouth is. And some fighters are discovering they're not as ready for that level of competition as they thought they were. Now here's the part that's going to shock you. Jon Jones just broke his silence about all this chaos, and what he revealed about the current state of the heavyweight division is absolutely mind-blowing. Bones didn't hold back when discussing the Aspinall situation, and his perspective as someone who's dominated multiple divisions gives his words serious weight. Jones pointed out something that most fans haven't considered, that all this talk about who deserves what and who's ready for title shots is missing the bigger picture. According to Jones, the real question isn't about individual matchups. It's about which fighters have the mental fortitude to handle the pressure when the entire world is watching and everything they've worked for is on the line. Listen to this because Jones went full philosopher mode, explaining how he's watched countless talented fighters crumble the moment they stepped up to championship-level competition. He's talking about fighters who looked unstoppable against mid-tier opponents, but completely fell apart when facing someone with that killer instinct and championship experience. Jones specifically mentioned watching recent title fights where technically skilled fighters got overwhelmed not by superior technique, but by the sheer intensity and mental pressure that comes with fighting at the highest level. He's basically saying that all the physical preparation in the world means nothing if you can't handle the psychological warfare that separates champions from contenders. But here's where Jones dropped the most brutal truth bomb of all. He looked straight into the camera and said that most of the current crop of contenders in multiple divisions are living in a fantasy about what championship-level fighting actually requires. According to Bones, these fighters are so focused on their highlight reels and social media presence that they're not preparing for the dark, grinding reality of what it takes to break another elite fighter's will. Jones described championship fighting as controlled insanity, where you have to be willing to go to places mentally and physically that most people can't even imagine. When someone with his track record starts questioning whether the new generation has that level of commitment, that should make everyone pay attention. And speaking of reality checks, Colby Covington just delivered the most savage breakdown of the welterweight division that has everyone talking. Chaos didn't hold back when discussing the current title picture, and his analysis of what's really happening behind the scenes is absolutely brutal. Covington revealed that several top contenders are actively avoiding certain matchups, despite publicly calling for title shots and big fights. According to Colby, there's a huge difference between what fighters say in interviews and what their management teams are actually negotiating behind closed doors. He's basically exposing the fact that some of the loudest voices in the division are the most reluctant to actually step up when dangerous fights are offered. Now get this part, because Covington's insider knowledge gets really interesting. He broke down exactly how fighters and their teams manipulate the ranking system and public perception to get favorable matchups while avoiding the real killers in the division. Chaos explained that it's become a chess game where fighters are more concerned with protecting their records and marketability than actually proving they're the best. According to Covington, this strategy works great for building hype and getting paydays, but it creates a false hierarchy where fighters can climb the rankings without ever being truly tested against elite competition. When someone like Colby, who's been in there with the absolute best, starts calling out this system, it reveals just how political the fight game has become. But wait, it gets even more controversial. Covington specifically called out several unnamed contenders, saying they've been hand-picked favorable matchups, while avoiding anyone who poses a real threat to their undefeated records or ranking positions. He didn't name names directly, but anyone following the division closely knows exactly who he's talking about. Chaos described watching fighters turn down big money fights because their teams calculated that a loss would hurt their long-term earning potential more than a win would help. Think about how backwards that is. We're talking about professional fighters who are more afraid of losing than they are motivated by the chance to prove they're the best in the world. Here's where the welterweight situation gets absolutely insane. Leon Edwards, the actual champion, just responded to all this controversy, and his perspective as the belt holder adds another layer of complexity to everything. Rocky revealed that he's been pushing for the most challenging fights possible, but the politics and business side of the sport keep interfering with what should be straightforward decisions about who deserves title shots. Edwards admitted that he's frustrated with how long it takes to make fights happen when there are obvious contenders who have earned their opportunities. According to the champion, everyone talks about wanting to fight the best, but when it comes time to sign contracts, suddenly there are always complications and delays. And here's the most revealing part of Edwards' comments. He explained that being champion means constantly dealing with fighters who want to negotiate every detail of a potential fight, from the location to the timing to the promotional obligations. Rocky described it as exhausting, saying that some potential challengers spend more energy trying to create perfect conditions for themselves than they do preparing to actually win the fight. Edwards pointed out that true champions don't need perfect conditions. They adapt and overcome regardless of circumstances. When the guy holding the belt is questioning whether his potential challengers have that championship mentality, it says everything about the current state of the division. But hold up, because while all this political drama is playing out, something absolutely massive just happened in the flyweight division that nobody saw coming. Brandon Moreno dropped a bombshell announcement that has fans and fighters completely losing their minds. The former champion revealed that he's been secretly working with a new team of specialists who have identified specific weaknesses in the current top contenders that nobody else has noticed. Moreno isn't just planning a comeback. He's planning to systematically dismantle the entire division using techniques and strategies that haven't been seen in MMA before. The confidence in his voice when describing his new approach is genuinely terrifying for everyone else at 125 pounds. Listen to this, because what Moreno revealed about his training evolution is absolutely wild. He's been working with biomechanics experts, sports psychologists, and even military tactical advisors to completely reconstruct his fighting style. Morneau explained that his previous success was based on heart, toughness, and natural ability, but now he's approaching fights like a chess grandmaster who can see 15 moves ahead. The former champion described watching footage of current flyweight contenders and seeing patterns and openings that he never would have recognized before this intensive retraining process. When a fighter who was already championship level starts talking about operating on a completely different intellectual plane, that should terrify his future opponents. Now here's the part that's going to blow your mind. Morneau specifically mentioned that he studied every single second of footage from the current champion and top contenders, and he's identified what he calls systematic flaws that can be exploited by someone with the right preparation and mindset. According to Brandon, most fighters at the highest level develop certain habits and tendencies that work against most opponents, but become predictable to someone who's done the homework. He's basically saying that he's found the cheat codes for the entire division, and he's just waiting for the right opportunity to prove it. The scary part is that Morneau has always been known for his fight IQ, so if he's saying he's operating on an even higher level now, that could spell disaster for everyone else. But get this, because the flyweight chaos doesn't stop there. Alexander Pantoja, the current champion, just responded to Morneau's claims, and his reaction reveals something huge about the pressure of being a champion in today's UFC. Pantoja didn't dismiss Morneau's comments. Instead, he acknowledged that the former champion is dangerous and always evolving. But then the current champion dropped his own truth bomb about what it's really like to hold a belt in the modern fight game. According to Pantoja, every single day brings new challenges, new contenders making claims, and new pressure to prove yourself over and over again. He described the championship experience as simultaneously the greatest achievement and the heaviest burden a fighter can carry. And here's where Pantoja's honesty gets really revealing. He admitted that being champion means you can never really relax or feel secure, because there's always someone training specifically to take what you have. The current flyweight king explained that it's not just about defending against one challenger. It's about staying ahead of an entire division of fighters who are all studying your weaknesses and developing strategies specifically designed to exploit them. Pantoja said that the mental pressure of knowing that dozens of elite fighters are spending every day trying to figure out how to beat you is something that can't be understood unless you've experienced it firsthand. When champions start talking about the psychological toll of holding a belt, it gives you insight into why some fighters seem to age rapidly once they reach the top.